Simon & Schuster Audio presents Out of the Attic by V.C. Andrews, read by Dara Rosenberg. Prologue. The first time I had entered Foxworth Hall as Mrs. Garland Foxworth, I had to pause to catch my breath, as if I had been racing through the entire wedding ceremony and reception. I was still a little dazed and couldn't help but imagine myself having been scooped up by a gallant, handsome, and powerful knight on a white horse who had carried me away swiftly from my carefree youthful life too soon and deposited me here at Foxworth Hall, an estate that was another world unto itself. The grand house was surrounded by acres and acres of prime Virginia woods and fields, situated in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. There was a mile-long lake on the property, less than a quarter of a mile from the house, a stopover for Canada geese at the start of spring. It had a dock and rowboats. At night, when the moon was out, it looked like a large platter of glittering liquid silver. In the valley below the estate were rows of much smaller houses. From this height, they resembled toy homes. How could anyone living in Foxworth Hall not feel like an aristocrat, almost godlike, looking down on the far less wealthy inhabitants, some of whom were employed in Foxworth enterprises and paid meager salaries? I had been in the great mansion nearly 10 days ahead of the ceremony preparing, which included having Garland's mother's wedding dress adjusted to fit me. I hated it, but I wore it to please him and slip on the Foxworth name the way you might slip on a pair of too tight shoes. Every one of Garland's parents' friends who attended told me his father especially would have been so pleased. The older men who had known him implied that he was quite aware of attractive women, maybe too aware. How many times during the reception had I heard, "You are the most beautiful Foxworth ever," or, "We never thought Garland would settle down. But seeing you, we understand why he has chosen to do so. And so quickly, he was obviously afraid of losing you." The leering men laughed in chorus, but I did feel like I was on a pedestal, unable to move from right to left or vice versa, without all eyes turning to me, as if anything and everything I did was to be noted for posterity. Foxworths made history in Virginia, and I was now part of that heritage and the future. I had every reason to be happy, ecstatic, floating on a cloud. But suddenly that day...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?